All right, welcome. So, what if one of the best fitness tools that you have ever had has been attached to you the whole time and you've been covering it up? That's what today's show is about. My real question for you is when was the last time that your bare feet touched the earth? We are talking about the tool of your bare feet today. We're going to talk all about being barefoot today and what it's all about, the benefits, the risks of doing it, and a bunch of different perspectives on going barefoot. So I definitely want to actually hear from you. When was the last time your bare feet actually touched the earth? The earth. Drop that in the chat, drop it in the comments. All right, while you're doing that, I'll introduce myself. My name is Alexis Craig, and this is the Next Fitness Show. So, welcome. If you've never been here before, welcome to the Next Fitness Thing community. If you are here and you are part of our community, thank you for being here. Please push like on this video. I invite you to subscribe to this channel and check us out as the Next Fitness Thing. You can find us on all the socials, and you can find us at thenextfitnessthing.com. Okay, so what we're talking about today is really all about the benefits of going barefoot. Now, if you already are all about this and there's something about being barefoot that you already love, then I want to hear it. So tell me what do you love about being barefoot? Now, I know this could be a controversial thing. Not everybody loves being barefoot. There are certainly people who are kind of it's not their thing. Oh, what's happening in the chat? Already, Edie is saying hello. All right, Megan says hello, hello. Mom's in here saying hi all. Kathy says today, yesterday. Good job, Kathy. Very nice. Kelly says today gardening. Love it. I love gardening barefoot. It's a great idea. It's a perfect time to do it, actually. Megan says all the time because barefoot is my default setting. Same, same. Um, except for with pine cones. That's basically the time when I can't do it. Aaron says a day or two ago, walking in the yard. Beautiful. Edie also says today when getting the mail. Yeah, perfect. Something like that. Totally perfect. All right. So I'm also curious, have you guys actually tried barefoot shoes? I'll tell you, it took me, I've always been somebody who enjoys being barefoot for sure. I mean, I would wear flip-flops and then not always totally wear the flip-flops. Or when I was little, I loved having jellies and then, you slide the jellies off and kind of go barefoot for a little while. But as an adult, I actually tried the Vibram barefoot shoes. You know the ones you're talking about, the ones that look like a little weird. I'll show you these are basically the exact ones that I had. Um, this is the classic edition. Now they have tons of these, but I will just say that the barefoot shoes are, we're going to talk a lot about all the different versions of going barefoot in here today. And they do have rubber on the bottom. So there are some pieces of going barefoot that are eliminated when you have rubber on the bottom of the shoe. But as far as having all five of your toes to be able to interact with the ground and to actually use the muscles of your foot, they're fantastic. So when I first got them, I wore these shoes only to work out at the very beginning. I just wore them only to work out. And that was sort of my ramp up into wearing them. And then I got obsessed with them. I loved them so much. So I started wearing them all the time. I was living in San Francisco at the time and I would wear them. They were black, so I felt like I could wear them with basically any outfit. Anything I thought I could wear ballet flats with, I could just wear Vibrams with. And if you don't think that's acceptable, that's your problem. So I just started wearing them like walking down the street with the dress, with whatever. I would just wear them all the time. So it took me a while to ramp up to that. As I did go barefoot, I was basically in these barefoot shoes or barefoot 24/7. Like that's all I would wear for a year at least. And it made my balance amazing. It honestly made my balance so good. It also made my feet really strong. And I don't know about you. Have you ever had an ankle spraining problem? I'm somebody who's definitely had an ankle spraining problem in my life. And it made my feet a lot stronger. It made my ankles a lot more stable. So all of those were fantastic benefits of it. Um, I liked them. They were comfortable. I also could tell that my legs were getting a lot stronger in new ways, particularly in my calves, but my entire leg was getting stronger. My flexibility was improving. So I was actually able to get further into the splits than I'd ever gotten before because my ankle mobility was improving too. Um, and I just felt like a ninja. I felt like I could just jump off of this and I could do this and whatever. And I like to think it improved my psychic ability too. It definitely improved my intuition and my ability to sort of feel things out. But I got a little bit maybe overdid it. So I wanted to start running. So I started running on pavement and concrete wearing these shoes with not enough training for strength of running and not enough ramping up into running with regular shoes into those shoes. So basically, once I started trying to use them for running on pavement, then I started having heel pain and I they called it plantar fasciitis and maybe it was just bruised heels from maybe I didn't have good running form. That's possible too. It was before I really knew a lot about that. So They definitely led me eventually toward overdoing it with plantar fasciitis. And also, they smelled really, really bad, really bad. And all my conventional things that I tried to do to make bad smelling shoes smell better did not work. They were way past that. So eventually they were done. So have you ever tried these shoes? I would love to hear it. They have socks for them now. They didn't have that at the time. I was like, an early adopter with that. All right, what's happening in the chat? Aaron says my workout shoes are barefoot, but I need orthotics in them. So I feel like that defeats the point. I mean, I don't know. It's a mixed bag. It's a transitional situation. Kathy says, I have a pair of those barefoot shoes, but I didn't care for them as much for running. Yeah, I mean, I personally would just say ramping up into them was great. And I think this is the advice in general for the way to approach barefootedness if barefootedness is outside your scope. If you overdo it or you go too fast from like, 0 to 100 without going slowly, then you could end up with plantar fasciitis. You could end up pulling something in your foot. You could end up with a stress fracture. Like there's things that could cause a problem. But in general, I think the benefits are amazing, and that's what we're really going to talk about. So, your feet are made to move. Your feet are absolutely amazing. Seriously. Your feet have so much going on, more than you might think is going on in your feet. Did you know that you have 26 bones? There are 33 joints in your feet. There are over 100 muscles and tendons and ligaments. Your feet are super sophisticated. So, honestly, we're going to be talking all about your feet today. If you have shoes on right now, I encourage you to kick them off. And I just want to know, it sounds like we're already kind of doing this check-in, but I want to know for you, what team are you on with this? Are you team barefoot or are you team shoes? Let me know. Drop it in the chat. Are you, and if you are team barefoot, are you all barefoot all the time? Are you willing to go barefoot outside? Or are you like barefoot in the house, but if my feet go outside, I definitely have to cover them? Edie says, I think as we age, we totally need to pay attention to our feet and not just pedicures. I'm so with you. And I actually think this is probably true for everyone. It just, if it hasn't been happening through life up to this point, I think it comes to a head as you age. Like, even for babies, going barefoot is the best possible thing you could do. Putting athletic shoes on a baby is like going to be, I would say, harming their athletic ability for life. It says Team Barefoot. I saw it, even though it left. I saw it. Erin says, oh, she's saying her workout shoes, but they need orthotics. Right, right. Kathy says, I have a pair of those barefoot shoes, but I didn't care for them as much for running. Right. Yeah. I think that I would not recommend them for running in general, but I would say that the barefoot shoes, just for the perspective of like walking around and also for working out, particularly for strength training, I think they're fantastic. I really do. Megan says team barefoot all the time. Nice. Love it. Love it. Aaron says I was always taught to cover my feet every time I go outside, but I try as much as I can to walk around the yard barefoot. Nice. If you are team shoes, I would love to know what, like, I know I'm evangelizing barefootedness right now, but I mean, I'm not really trying to demonize shoes because here's the thing, shoes are tools. It's actually really valuable to wear shoes. So if you have certain times where you wear certain shoes, I would love to hear what kind of shoes do you have that are special shoes that you wear to do specific things. I can say for myself, I wear galoshes on my farm all the time. I would love to be barefoot, but there are pine cones with daggers basically at the ends of them. And I can't go barefoot with the pine cone spikes. It's too much. So I wear galoshes all over. Plus, there's like prickers that stick on your pants. So I love wearing the galoshes all around. Um, Water shoes sometimes have definitely saved me when there's slippery rocks and stuff like that. Work boots are crucial. I would never advocate going on a construction site barefoot. Running shoes are, I mean, controversial, but I'm not going to say which running shoes. Everybody kind of has which running shoes are the ones, right? Dance shoes are important, right? I mean, there's some kinds of dance you can do barefoot, but if you want to turning barefoot does not usually work very well. You need to have at least something on the ball of your foot. So I would just be really curious, what kind of shoes are you using as a tool in your life? Yep. Eva says barefoot inside almost always, and then outdoors only if on the lawn. Yeah, that makes sense, right? You go barefoot on the lawn because you feel safe with the texture that you're able to like, you're not going to step on something sharp or something like that. I totally understand that. Kathy says barefoot every chance I can. I love Kathy has a story of hiking in Sedona where she just took off her shoes and hiked barefoot. I don't want to ruin your story, but I'm sure I can't replicate it. But it was like communion with the earth when I heard that story. That's really what I heard was you're in communion with the earth by walking barefoot. Yep. All right. Awesome. So I don't want you to think that I'm here just saying you shouldn't ever wear shoes. You're going to want to wear shoes for specific purposes in your life. And sometimes that's going to be a workout purpose, right? If you're running, I do want you to wear shoes if you're running. And if you are, um, doing strength training, especially with heavy weights, sometimes it's a good idea to have shoes on. If you are in a gym that is known for having like foot fungus everywhere, you probably want to wear shoes there. Just saying. So there's reasons. There's totally reasons. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the stretch break. I'm changing the format of this show up a little bit. We're gonna get a lot more variety going on in here than what I usually do. So let's do our stretch break right now. This is our stretch break. If you don't have your shoes off already, I encourage you to take your shoes off now. Okay, so we are gonna do something. I'm gonna just basically show you this video that I found from a physical therapist on Instagram. Just shout out to I don't know this person or anything. I just found this video and it's awesome. And their account is called B, letter B, number three PT, B3PT. And this right here is toga. So it's basically toe yoga. All right, I'm going to show this video twice, and I am also going to show it in 50% speed so that you're able to kind of follow along. Okay, so let's do this. We have toe yoga starting now. All right, so the first thing is to try to lift just your big toe. Try it on one foot. We're going to do this twice. So pick a foot, try lifting just your big toe on your right foot. Just your big toe. I'm trying to do it right now. It's really challenging just to lift it. Okay, now switch and lift just your little toes and keep your big toe down. Oh, the coordination of it is really intense. Good. Keep trying. Lift your little toes. Okay, now switch it up. This is a toe spread reach. So you spread your toes and you reach out and forward with your foot. Mm-hmm. So try it again. Spread your toes, reach out and forward. Okay, now we're switching and you take your big toe and reach it to the side. I don't even know if I could do it. Try it. Big toe goes to the side. I gotta practice that one. Okay, the next one is to lift your arch. So you can see they put a stick under it so that you can tell that the arch is being lifted, building arch strength, arch strength. Lift your arch. Okay, switch feet, switch feet. Other foot, let's do it. Okay, big toe lifts. Big toe lift and lower. Now, compared to the other ones, this Seems easy. Aaron says, I've done this in PT. Perfect. Good, good, good. Kathy says, yes, toe yoga. Love it. Kathy says she hiked yesterday too in bare feet. I love that. Okay, little toes. Little toes. Ah, little toes. Kathy says this is easier if you roll out your feet first. Ooh, good tip. Good tip. Okay. Toe spreads. Toe spread and reach. Toe spread and reach. Very nice. Okay. Big toe to the side and center. Good. Big toe to the side. Oh, this one's so hard coordination wise for me to do. Good. Okay, now lift your arch. Lift your arch on your left foot. Lift it. Lift your arch. Building strength into your arch is so valuable, especially if you think you have flat feet. This one, it'll help you to have an arch in your foot. All right, and time. That was our stretch break. Thank you for doing it with me. How'd it go? I will put a link to that video and in the description for those of you watching this as a recording, or if you want to revisit it, I'll put the link down there so you can find it. Again, shout out to that Instagram account. It is B3PT, and I thought that was an amazing share. So great, super valuable. Okay, so let's talk. We're going to start with talking about the benefits of being barefoot. We're going to start with physical benefits. If you know of physical benefits of being barefoot, drop that in the chat. Now, I already mentioned a bunch of them when I told my story of wearing the Vibram shoes. So, the physical barefoot benefits, for one, strength, right? So if you are barefoot, you're going to build, there's all of those muscles in your feet. You're going to improve the strength of your foot itself. Not only of your foot, though, you're going to also improve the strength of your calves, and you're going to improve the strength because here's the thing, shoes are creating stability that make it so that your body doesn't have to use muscles to create that stability. So if you wear stable shoes, your glutes don't fire as much, your abs don't fire as much, all your stabilizer muscles in your entire body are not doing as much work because your shoes are doing the work instead. So being barefoot is going to be conducive to building more strength. So that's one. Two, better balance for sure. I don't know about you, but there's a reason that dancers are wearing a shoe that is mostly barefoot. And it is really because when you're barefoot, you can hold on to the ground. You can balance with just all of this nuance. Can you imagine trying to do a handstand if you had, like, I don't know, like a block on your hand with your hand in a shoe? That wouldn't make any sense. A handstand is so much easier to balance because you can use all of your fingers to help you to balance when you're upside down. It's the exact same thing with your feet. You have all your toes and you have all of these parts of your feet to be able to help. So being barefoot is going to improve your balance, not only because of the strength that you're building and the ability to use all of your foot, but also because you have more information. When your foot is barefoot, it can sense what's happening with the ground. It can actually feel the nuances of the ground versus your body. And it's going to help you to have better balance because you have more information. And what that's called is proprioception. So, proprioception basically means that you're aware of your body in space. So being barefoot in general is going to improve your proprioception. Proprioception is essentially a sense. It's like, you know, this I personally believe there's way more than five senses, and proprioception is a sense. It's like the ability to tell where you are in space. So your body awareness is definitely improved by being barefoot. And I personally think that's part of why some people don't like to be barefoot. and I don't mean this in any kind of slight kind of way. I just mean that sometimes it helps to be removed from the situation. So having shoes on kind of gives you like an aloofness to the situation. I personally think that's why women in strip clubs wear stilettos, is because you are as fully removed from the situation as far as connection to the earth as possible. That's my personal woo-woo theory on that. All right, Aaron is commenting on the exercise. My big toe wants to go in, not out. Yep, yep. Oh, that's interesting. I'm the opposite. No, no, my big toe wants to go in. You're right. Same, same. Megan says the shoe goal in dance is to always be able to feel the floor. If you can't, it's too much shoe. Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. The only time that like I feel like in tap, that's sort of, do you think that's true in tap? I think it's sort of true, but like I want to be able to feel the floor. I want to be able to feel my foot on the floor for sure, but I also want to be able to like have a certain amount of rigidity to like rest on if I want to do certain things, I guess. That's probably true and on point too. Kathy says, it's why I love hiking without shoes. Climbing rocks in shoes sucks for balance and connection to the nuance of the ground. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. And I mean, as long as there's nothing dangerous on the ground for you to hurt your feet or something. Okay, other benefits. Ankle stability. This is what I was saying with that, how I would always sprain my ankle until I started wearing the barefoot shoes. Um, where being barefoot helps build all those stabilizer muscles, which is going to improve the stability of your ankle so that you'll be less likely to sprain it. And it's also more conducive to using the full range of motion of your foot so that you'll build that range of motion into your foot. And then you're basically going to um, have a healthier ankle because you're using more range of motion. Nice. Megan says tap, probably not as much. Yeah, right. Okay. When you're barefoot, you're more likely to have healthy walking mechanics. So just automatically, when you're walking barefoot, you're more likely to walk in a healthy way on your foot. Now, there are exceptions to that, especially if you have an injury. Then sometimes when you have an injury, then you're going to maybe like avoid that hurt part or something like that. But in general, you have a better walking mechanics barefoot. Yes. The other thing with being barefoot is it strengthens your arches, and we talked about that a little bit when when we watched that video. But if you are someone who has an issue with flat feet or fallen arches, this is not just like out of your completely out of your control. You can absolutely build strength into the arches of your feet. The arches of your feet are like a suspension bridge where all its muscles holding up the arches of your feet. So if you want to build the arches of your feet, you can build strength into your foot and it's going to make the arch of your foot more pronounced and stronger. Um Also, if you have bunions, where being barefoot can be very helpful for that, and especially doing these like exercises that we're showing so that you are able to um, in my experience, usually with bunions, there's also like a whole thing going on with your lower body, not just your feet, but also with your angle of your knees and your hips. So you're more likely to do this in a healthier way and help your bunions if you're barefoot. And at the same time, I understand that it can be painful and it can be aggravating. So with that, I would honestly encourage physical therapy. That's my personal opinion on that. Um, the other thing with being barefoot physically is it's going to improve your mobility of your whole body. It's going to improve your mobility of your hips, your spine. It's going to improve your whole body's mobility, not just your feet and ankles, is going to improve from being barefoot. Kathy says, Tammy and I both dislike the shoes for walking and running that have lots of cushion. We like more neutral shoe where we feel the ground more. Yes, same, same. If you have an example of a time where you like to have less feeling for the ground, I'd love to hear that for anyone. If anyone's listening and you have a shoe, like a time in your life where you're like, I don't even want to feel the ground at all, I feel like I have like combat boots or something that I would wear maybe to like a concert where there's going to be a mosh pit, I probably would like to not feel the ground at a concert where there might be glass on the ground. Okay, so in general, the other thing I'll just say with this is the more you walk on different surfaces, the better. So not just walking only on hardwood floors or only on grass, but if you can practice walking barefoot on a variety of surfaces, it's going to build up different things. So you probably have an experience of walking barefoot on the sand, right? And you've maybe noticed that it takes a lot of effort for your feet and your legs to walk barefoot in the sand. Way different than grass, way different than rocks, you know. So overall, I would say try a variety of different surfaces and that will help you get the most benefit. Okay, now, those are the physical benefits, and I feel like there's probably more, but I feel like that's what we think of is just these physical benefits. And there's actually potentially a lot more benefits of being barefoot that you might not even be thinking of. And I think that one of the traditions that describes this um, in a way that you may be at least somewhat familiar with is Chinese medicine. So, and it might even be, you might be more familiar with reflexology. Now, to be clear, Chinese medicine and reflexology are not the same. They are distinct things. So the map of the foot that's provided by Chinese medicine is actually a little different than the map of the foot with reflexology, but they're both mapping the foot to your entire body for the health of your entire body. So, in Chinese medicine, my understanding, I took this whole class on Tuina, which is basically acupoint massage, basically. And what they taught in this was different using acupoints on your body for health of different parts of your body. Um, so one of this was that this center point of your foot, it's basically here, I'll show you. It's basically your kidney one is the name of this point, and it's also known as Yang Quan or bubbling spring. And this here's a video of where you can see of them massaging this point right here. It's basically just below the ball of your foot. It's about a third of the way down your foot. That's not exactly where it is. It's more like right there, right where her thumb is right now in the foot. That's the spot. So this is a little bit more going on in this than just that, but this spot right there where her thumb is right there, a third of the way down the foot, right in the middle, is one of the most powerful points of your foot. And this is related with your kidneys. It's basically this place. The idea is that if you connect this part of your foot to the earth, it's like allowing the spring of chi or life force energy to flow through your body, especially when it's connected to the earth. So, keeping your foot happy, I think foot massages are an amazing thing and highly recommend them. I also would, if you have like a partner, I would 100% recommend that you both learn how to do awesome foot massages and trade because it's that makes it so helpful to not have to go and pay money or you could just do that for one another and it's very good for intimacy. But in general, I think this concept of using the foot as a map for your whole body is fascinating. I definitely want to learn more about it. Now, if you have any experience with any of this, do you use reflexology? Do you use Chinese medicine? Especially as related to your foot? I would love to know it. Okay, so with this, there's a concept of not only using your foot on the ground for as a map to make your organs happy, but also essentially to really connect to the earth. You may be familiar with this. This has been kind of a trendy thing lately, but how many of you have actually practiced grounding before? Like you have consciously gone outside and put your feet on the earth with the intention of connecting with the electrical forces of the earth, where you're allowing an exchange of energy between your body and the earth explicitly, where you can describe it as electricity, you can describe it as chi, you can describe it as life force energy, prana. But really, there's this idea that the earth is basically has lots of electricity for one thing, but also essentially has electrons that are free. And so if you have free radicals in your body, meaning that there is a particle that is charged that's flowing through your body, these free radicals are, generally related to heart disease, and some people also say cancer. And that if you go out and put your feet on the earth, that you're allowing an energetic exchange between your body and the earth that can create as balancing of the electrical energy, so that if you do have free radicals floating in your system, that you would be able to pick up these electrons from the earth that would complete that chemical process and make it so that you have less free radicals in your body. Now, this honestly has not been like rigorously academically studied. So if you're somebody that needs to see the science behind it, it hasn't been done as far as I could find in the research. But that said, this is something that is described by Chinese medicine, it's described in yoga, it's described by many indigenous cultures. And some of these traditions are even encouraging sun gazing, which basically means that you go out and put your feet barefoot on the earth right at sunrise. Now, of course, some of these traditions are also saying that you should look at the sun as it's rising. I'm not going to advocate for that. Have I tried that? Yes. Is my eyesight good? No. So I'm not going to advocate for that for anyone at all. But I do think this concept of going out, putting your bare feet on the earth, allowing that energetic exchange, especially as the sun's rising, so you can get all of those benefits of your circadian rhythm. You get these benefits, especially of viewing the sun as it's rising, the benefits of hormonal balance. It can help your mood, it can help your cortisol. So, going out being barefoot and witnessing the sunrise with your feet actually on the earth. So I'm not talking about like feet on the concrete. Grass is good. Water would work, especially if you're in a natural water source or something like that. Um, but a pool might work. I can't say if a pool works or not. Aaron says, I do. I have a grounding bed sheet. Not sure how much it does, but it certainly doesn't hurt anything. That's cool. Do you have, so if you have a grounding bed sheet, does it have like, I imagine it has copper, and then does it ground to the ground? I've seen some of these where it has copper like thread in the bed sheet, and then it goes out and you have to bring it to the ground so that it can connect the circuit. I'm super curious about that. Okay, so there are a bunch of these energetic benefits of allowing your feet to be on the earth. And I would personally just say with that, experiment with it. You see if it works for you. I mean, people are saying that it can reduce inflammation and cure diseases and doing all of these things. I mean, I definitely feel better when my feet go on the earth. I can, especially if I'm feeling tense or if I'm feeling like out of balance, it really helps me to go put my feet on the ground, feel my feet on the ground. And um, I even have shoes that have copper in the bottom to make it so that I can ground with shoes on. Aaron says it has some metal thread. Oh, and it plugs into the ground of an electrical socket. Whoa. That was not what I expected you to say. Crazy. I've never seen those. That's super cool. Super cool. Okay. If you have a morning sun gazing ritual, I want to hear about that. Drop that in the chat. All right, and that said, I want to show you a Barefoot product, and I'm really curious if anyone has tried this. I think I might have mentioned this on the show once. Okay, so this product is called, did I do it? Maybe not. There. Let's try this. There. This product is called a Sadu board. Okay, so what this is it's a board that has tacks or nails sticking up from it so that it can push on all of these acupoints on your foot. Now, this is a yogic practice. This is coming essentially from yoga, but there are versions of this with Chinese medicine also. It's not called the same thing, but it looks very similar. Here is a video where you can watch somebody actually doing it. Okay, so if you've ever tried this, I would love to hear your experience. I've tried it. It was intense. It was definitely intense. It was not, it was sort of painful. I think you can get different levels of it, of how spiky they are. Um, I would personally suggest if it's your first time trying it, you might want to try it with socks on first to give it a little cushion. Also, I do think it's helpful to have something near you. Maybe do 1 foot at a time. So you can put 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot on it, so you don't have to put all your body weight. This practice is known for one, training your brain to be more resilient so that you're willing to, it's almost like endure pain, but that's not exactly it. It's also like really good for circulation, and it makes it so that it brings more, blood flow to your feet and that kind of thing. Um, but for I think a lot of this is it's a mindfulness practice. And it's not so much that pain is good and we're trying to encourage you to be in pain or anything like that, but it's more about like, can I stay with my breath even now? And just especially in the aging process, knowing that there are things that are uncomfortable or things that might not be enjoyable to experience physically, to be able to breathe through it and experience it, especially when you know that it has benefit for you, can really be a mindset that can help you in the bigger picture. Okay, so that said, if you have ever experienced this, I highly recommend it. And I have fun with it. I even found that there are some businesses like where you can go and just use it. You don't have to buy one necessarily. Okay, so I have a challenge for you. My challenge to you is for you to actually walk barefoot on the earth this week, on the actual earth, your actual feet on the actual earth for at least 10 minutes. That's my challenge to you. Walk barefoot on the actual earth this week for at least 10 minutes. And if this is something that you're up for, we're having a barefoot walk tomorrow. So if you want to come to that, we'll hold space for it. We'll talk a little bit more about our practice with being barefoot. We'll go even deeper into some of these things that we're talking about today. Um, and it will be recorded. That is also free. So if you want to go to that, you go to thenextfitnessthing.com/barefoot and you can sign up for it completely free. And if you want to just do it on your own, do it. That's great. Kathy says, I breathe through the cold plunge. It amazes people when they watch me slowly lower myself instead of plunge. 100%. That is exactly what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about, is the ability. It's like an uncomfortable thing to do. You know it has benefits for you. It's uncomfortable and you breathe through it and you're present with it. You're present with the discomfort. You're not pushing away the discomfort. You're experiencing it and you're really finding this place of equanimity with the experience of the uncomfortable thing. If you're able to do that, it makes you a superhero in your life. You can do your taxes, you can talk to a grumpy person, you can do anything if you can just breathe through something that is unenjoyable. Okay, so if you're up for the challenge, let me know that. Drop it in the chat and just say you're on, and I will know that you are ready to take on the challenge of walking barefoot outside for at least 10 minutes. So that said, here are the details on our barefoot walk. This is coming up tomorrow, which is Saturday, July 18th. It is at 9 a.m. Pacific. I'm leading this. It's only 25 minutes. If you're a member of the Next Fitness thing and you want to work out and stretch beforehand, do it. We have working out and stretching starting at 8, and then this barefoot walk starts at 9. So you could do about 90 minutes with me tomorrow if you'd like to. All right, and other announcements of the Next Fitness thing. Okay, the True Crime Walk was supposed to be on the 12th, and we had tech issues. So we are doing the True Crime Walk again on the 19th. I shouldn't say again because it didn't happen. So Edie has worked out her tech issues, no big deal. And we're doing the True Crime Walk this Sunday on the 19th at 1 p.m. Pacific. So check it out. I don't think I put up on the schedule yet, but I will right now as soon as I get out of here. So sign up for the True Crime Walk with Edie this Sunday and be there. All right. And that said, we also have a brand new walking challenge starting on Monday. Oops, shared the wrong thing. We have a brand new walking challenge starting on Monday, and it has no barefoot walking. I promise. No barefoot walking. But it does have a mix of strength and walking together. So you can walk, do a little strength training, walk, do a little strength training. You don't need to carry weights. There's one day a week, there's a weighted walk where you could wear a weighted vest or something. But you don't have to like use weights. You also don't have to put your hands on the ground every day. There's one day a week when you put your hands on the ground. You don't have to lay on the ground. So sign up for the Miles and Muscle Challenge. It starts on Monday. It's 2 weeks, 4 days a week. thenextfitnessthing.com/miles and muscle. Erin is celebrating that the Edie had tech issues because now she can make it. Good. All right. Everybody go to the True Crime Walk on Sunday. I'll see you there. All right. And also, book club. Book club is not this weekend, but next weekend. I just want to give you a friendly reminder to read the book, Grandma Gatewood's Walk. That is a little bit of a tongue twister. And it is the story of a woman who walked the Appalachian Trail. Check it out. And I also just want to let you know what the next book club book is. The next book club book, in case you need to get it now, for August, the book club in August will be led by Melissa for the first time. Melissa is going to be leading the book club. Melissa is a high school English teacher, by the way. She teaches AP English. So you know that she is going to be totally on it with leading the book club. I'm stoked for that. And for the book that we will read with Melissa leading the book club, we're going to read the book that Melissa wrote. How cool is that? So this is the book. It's called Requiem After Dark on the Road to Nowhere. I will make sure this gets up by Monday on our website. It might be there already, but I need to check. And I encourage you to get this. I believe it's on Kindle or paperback. I don't think there's an audiobook for this, but if you really need the audiobook, my understanding is there are accessibility settings that will read the book to you if you really need that. You could do it through accessibility settings. If you want help, I will help you. Okay, so reach out. And that's it for my announcements. Okay, we have questions coming in. Nice. Okay, next question is, do hands on the ground work like feet on the ground? Yes, absolutely. So any part of your ground, any part of your body that is touching the actual earth counts. So yes. There may be some benefit to it being feet and what part of your body is completing the circuit versus hands. But in general, I would say as far as just neutralizing the electrical charge, yes, hands on the ground absolutely counts. And jumping into water of a natural source is like really good in this way, right? So if you can put your put your feet in a river or a lake or go swimming in a river or a lake. That is particularly beneficial in this way because you're in full communion with the experience of it, right? Okay. Well, this has been great. E says, yeah. All right. So I hope to see you tomorrow for the Barefoot season walk. I hope to see you on Sunday for the True Crime Walk Take Two. And it has been so wonderful to be in here. Remember to do your challenge of walking barefoot at least 10 minutes on the actual earth. And I'll be back here next week for more. P.S. If you have any questions for the mailbag, send them in. I'd love to do mailbag regularly on this show, so I need some questions for the mailbag so I can do it. TNFT at thenextfitnessthing.com, or if you have me on DM somewhere, you can always DM me a mailbag question. All right, you guys. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend.